opposition to adultery and divorce, the New Testament suggested that God's intention for humans was monogamy, a one-man, one-woman, lifelong and exclusive relationship. Jesus explained that God, who created them from the beginning, made them male and female, said, "Therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate." Monogamy was not the Jewish, Hindu, Buddhist, or Islamic conception of marriage. It was a peculiarly Christian idea. It spread around the world in the 19th century, mainly through the Western missionary movement. What did the biblical idea of marriage and family do for the status of women and for civilization? As mentioned in chapter 2, we began our service to the poor in village Gathora in 1976 by training village health workers, VHWs. Dr. Madagonkar and his staff would come to our farm twice a week to teach village folk how to stay healthy, prevent diseases, and cure simple ailments. The village families wouldn't allow women to attend these classes, so we had to begin by training young men. After a few months, after we had bonded and become free with each other, the VHWs conveyed to us their considered opinion. "You Christians are very immoral." "What do you mean?" I was taken aback, since the jury had reached this verdict after due deliberation. "How are we immoral?" "You walk with your wives holding their hands," they explained. "Our wives walk at least 10 feet behind us. You take your sister-in-law to the market on your scooter. Our wives are too modest to sit behind our bicycles, and they cover their faces in front of our fathers, uncles, and older brothers." I had no clue how to answer my accusers, but Vinay, my older brother, had lived there longer than I. He responded with brutal frankness, "Come on, you guys. You know perfectly well that the truth is exactly the opposite. You do not allow your wives to uncover their faces in front of your fathers and brothers because you trust neither your father, nor your brother, nor your wives. I allow my wife to go to the market with my brother because I trust her and I trust my brother. Our wives can walk in the fields with us and visit you in your homes because of higher moral standards. You chain your wives to your kitchens and imprison them behind their veils because you are immoral." To my utter amazement, every one of the VHWs agreed with Vinay without a whisper of protest. They may have remained skeptical about our morality, but they knew firsthand their own moral standards. I was grateful for Vinay's insight, for I had never seen the connections of morality to liberty to the status of women. I should have known better, because our village was less than 20 miles from Kajaro, and where every imaginable sexual act had been carved in stone to adorn Hindu temples. My ancestors' religion of sacred sex had enslaved our women just as it did in the pre-Christian Greco-Roman civilization.
Yeah, so you're going to get a discussion here about Muhammad and some of the Islamic ideas about marriage and fidelity and all of that. But this is kind of an eye-opening turn of the coin here to understand that this is exactly why their women wear burqas. This is exactly why they make their wives walk 10 feet behind them, and all of this other cultural manifestation. And Magavati's brother hit the nail on the head there, because they come out of deeply flawed moral systems, and they don't know how to deal with it otherwise. And so the woman is devalued in Hinduism, Buddhism, Islam. The woman is devalued. And so one of the things de Tocqueville saw was that the American culture venerated and valued everybody, even women, women included, and that makes a difference. It makes a difference for a lot of reasons, but in a high trust culture, whether it's a home, a family, a business. There's less friction, there's more productivity, things work better where we have high degree of trust. And where we value one another, the same is true of those systems. Less friction and respect. You could call it respect if you wanted. But in all of those ways, the dynamic of a system is affected. Whether it's small, like a family, or very large, like an entire culture, all the industry and everything else. So this is an interesting And one of the things I like about Megavati is you're going to get a conversation you might be familiar with, but you're going to get it from deep left field. You're going to get a completely different view of these things. All right, read on.
Our neighbors could not even refer to their wives by their names. A wife was Bitarwali, the one who belonged to yours. Women's enslavement was then sold as traditional morality. The consequence? Not one girl in our village had gone beyond the 5th grade because the nearest middle school was 3 miles away. It was too risky to send a girl so far out of sight. It took time for the VHWs to recognize that what they considered morality was, in fact, our women's slavery. Morality is meant to liberate. Morality without liberty is slavery. Liberty without morality is destructive. Why did the women's liberation movement begin